yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display. I got winners on the way. You know you can't knock the hustle. And if you gotta get in place, then we gon' put your business on display. Grab a seat, we need you for a minute. And if you got the goods, we can talk about your business. She know what it's like to make a move independently. And I don't fake, it's like that. We've been trusting God like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display.
Hey everybody, we're back. We're back again. Double whammy today for We Work Wednesday. Super, always excited. And Wes always says to me, you always say the word excited. I do get excited, and I am excited to each and every opportunity for me to be able to introduce someone to you that I think you should know. And today I am honored to have a very special guest. This was a hard one to get in touch with. None other than my cousin, Sally Richardson Whitfield. And I'm super excited that she's here with me today. So I'm not going to prolong this because I want to get this in where we can fit it in with her busy schedule. Hey, Sal.
Hi. I'm so happy that I'm finally here. And I'm sorry it's taken me so long.
That's okay. Your life is a whirlwind of events. And so I am just grateful that you are here. I watched you the last few years take on a different role with the mommy, with the business, with the everything that you have going on and being out of town and all these other things. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to talk today about balancing family and business. And before we get into that, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I was, I'm from Chicago, from Hyde Park. Started as an actress. I'll kind of make that quick. I was an actress for about 30 years, and I don't know if I'll never act again. But right now, I've made sort of this transition into directing in my life. And if you don't know, I did movies like, Posse, Low Down, Dirty Shame. I was on a series called Eureka, Family Law, and other movies. And
She's saying it like just like and then no, these are all like pretty big movies, okay? And Anna Fisher, and you want me to go down the lane? I won't go down the lane. I can go down the lane.
I think I've gotten old and I forgot all like some of this. People tell me that I was in something. I go, oh, I was in that. But anyway, I made, as a lot of us do, I made a transition at a certain point in my life into same business, but a different role as a director. And when I look back, I go, really maybe these 30 years of acting was really my training ground to become a director. And I've really I think I found my power and I found my voice in this new career I have and new path, and I am thoroughly enjoying it.
Well, that's really cool to hear because it just definitely keeping you busy and not being able to slow down. But I know you're home right now. So where do you currently live?
I live in California, and where, unfortunately this is, I like LA, but, is where I kind of have to be for work. And yeah, I'm here in California.
Okay, and I think you're married and have kids.
No, I'm not telling. Okay,
and fur babies.
I know, I'm not telling much about. Okay, so I've been married, I think, 19 years to Dr. E.T. Whitfield. I have two children who are 16. Her name is Parker, and my son is Dre. He's 12, and she's a freshman. He's in 7th grade. And yeah, okay, there. Now I've said it all.
Okay, you said it all. Okay, that's the family stuff. That's really the best stuff of why you're doing what you do, right? So, Anyway, I wanted to tell the story, you guys, because I remember this. Now, Sally's my cousin through marriage, a previous marriage, and her brother is my biological cousin, Nayland. And so I remember this. They were living in Hyde Park. We were visiting Auntie Marcia. I don't know why we were over there in Nayland. And Sally brought out this portfolio. I think you were 16. And you brought out this portfolio. And you told me, you was like, I'm going to go to California. And do you remember this?
No, but if I had but I was probably older. I was probably like 18.
So?
If I was talking about moving to California and had pictures, I might have been a little older, I
It
think.
was a portfolio. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
You brought me pictures of you modeling and different things like that. But anyway, it just brought me back to that memory when I was thinking about doing this today and talking to you, because I said, wow, people's dreams really can come true, and they can see it in the future. And so no matter what, you'll always be an actress, but the direction you're in doesn't mean that it takes away from your for your main career. It just may take you in a different direction. So just thought about that when I was a little. I wasn't that little, you guys. We're not that far apart. I'm 51, so I can't say I was a little girl. Okay.
I'm older than you, but
I know. Okay, so here we go. I wanted to just say, how has it been just balancing business and family, and really being away on and off? How is that?
I think it's been much harder than, as an actress. I was away a lot. I had a
Right.
series in Canada.
Anaconda. Okay, I just remembered that.
Yeah. I was, as an actress, I was, I lived in, or kind of half the time I was in Vancouver and would go back and forth. But, Parker was young then, and she could come with me, and it was easier for me to go back and forth. For some reason, and then with COVID this last year, um, the show I started was in September in New York, and I just got back. And I should have been able to travel back and forth, but because of COVID, it really made it almost impossible. Like I got back a few times, but anyway, it's hard. That's all I can say. It's not conducive to a great family dynamic. I mean, luckily my children are older now.
Yeah.
Parker and I we've stayed really close because we talk all the time, almost maybe more. When you're at home with your kids,
Right.
everyone goes to their rooms, they got homework, she has teenage life. But we find time to FaceTime all the time and really have conversations like this that I think I may not have when I'm home as much. So
Mhm.
in some ways with me and her, it's been great. My son, it's kind of hard. He's at that age, hey mom, hi, oh, I love you, I miss you too. Yeah, I'm playing a video game. Not so easy to connect. And then, being married, I think that's hard too. It's like, I'm also not a big phone person. Uh, so it becomes kind of, yeah, I just don't, it's not my,
It's not your thing. It's
I'm
okay.
just, hey, good, yeah, good, bye. So it becomes checking in a lot. Like, we'll talk 2-3 times a day. It's not like we're not going to talk during the day, but it's a good morning. It's a middle of the afternoon. What are you doing? What's going on? Kind of catch up with the kids and what, like how your day is going, and a good night. Which is nice, but I mean, we're communicating, but it's different. It's different. We definitely
Mhm.
come home. It's some readjustment to just having mom back, and
I'm
you know,
sure that's an adjustment. I'm sure. Well,
well, and all I see is mess and things I got to organize, and anyway, I'll let you go. Sorry.
so, yeah, because you can't come home and just be the warden. That's for sure. And I do understand that, because sometimes you come home, you're like, this is not right. This is not right. It's like, hey, we've been doing this, I
Yeah.
understand that. And that's even if you're living at home, it doesn't matter. Well, anyway, I wanted to ask you, go a little bit into the industry. What made you passionate about really starting to direct?
Honestly, I was doing Ava DuVernay's first film, I Will Follow. And during that process, um, Ava, Ava saw something in me that I didn't see. Sometimes we need other people to see.
Precious, yeah.
you
Yeah.
may have hidden talents. And she goes, I think you're missing something. I think you would be a great director. And literally just her saying that made me go, huh. And then kind of think back to that I do pay attention a lot. And I am going, well, why aren't they doing this and this and this and this? So I was on Eureka, my series, and I shadowed a few directors after she said that and was like, okay. And then asked them if I could direct an episode of my show. And they kind of know my personality. They know if I'm asking, I'm gonna put in the work to do it properly. And after directing that, they said yes, which is a big step for them. It's a big step for a network too. It's a lot of money that they invest in these shows. I think our show may have been, 4 or 5 million, an episode. And they said yes, and I did it. The first time I did it, I like went, oh, I get this, and
Yeah.
really liked it. And the next season, I did another one. But then my kids were younger, and it wasn't the right time for me. And I was still on the show for a little longer, but it just wasn't the right time to tackle this because, as I've said, I've I'm out of town a lot now. I'm
Mhm.
gone a lot. It's like if mom went back to medical school or went to law school, all of a sudden, it's
Yeah.
like you have to jump in, like immerse yourself completely.
Right.
So once I got older, and it seemed like I got another show where I knew I could start directing that show again, it seemed like the right time to start making the transition then.
Wow. Well, I was thinking about this, and we during the pandemic we spent a lot of time at home and Netflix and not going to the theaters like we normally do. Do you think there's going to be like a major transition from movie theaters to just really purchasing movies at home?
I I mean, I don't know. I think that this model of it being in theaters for a certain amount of time and then going to streaming, I think may last. I personally have been so excited that the movie theaters are open again because I
Yeah.
like to see a movie big. Maybe I'm hoping what it does is make people go, "Oh my god, now I know what I've been missing." There's
Okay.
some films you want to see on the big screen, and I want to experience it that way. So that would be my hope, that we can, still conserve that beautiful movie experience because it's a different. You know, you watch even though we have big TVs, it's still not the same feeling to see a movie at the movie theaters.
That's very true. But also, the big thing now are these series. And I know you've directed several series. I don't care for the series because I have to binge. I have to see the end. I'm that person that has to watch the end. I need to know what's going to happen. So I binge all in one. I can't do the week to week to week. But that's becoming really more popular. And why do you think? Why do you think so?
Because people like you who just want instant gratification. I get it because I do the same thing. A lot of times even the shows that on the streaming services that don't let you binge, I will wait at least so I can watch 3, 4 episodes at a time. Just because I kind of like that too. It's kind of fun to just sit there and just kind of push through it. But I think it is. We're in a time where people want instant gratification, and I personally normally do not have time to watch TV like a whole series.
Mhm.
But yeah, I get it. I get it. When you're really in it, you want to see it.
Yeah. I'm going to think of this other question that I have about so many people that I'm surrounded by, millennials who are definitely moving into producing and directing. And I thought about this. We were supposed to do an interview a few months back early winter months, about really some advice that could be given because everybody just thinks it's just so easy to dive into. I know 3 young people right now who have moved to California to start their career. I know some family members who have struggled throughout the years, just trying to get in. So what advice could you give people that are really trying to get into the field of or the industry of the arts and television and movies? What advice could you give them?
Well, honestly, it's a little hard for me to tell people, like some of the young people, because I started at a different time, right? I would say this is not an easy field. This is not a like if you want to be an actor, you're a good liar kind of thing. This is which a lot of people will say. Um, it is a live and breathe. Is there any if you have to want this more than anything in the world? Like there can be, it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna dabble. I think that most people think if they just become an influencer, that's enough. That might be enough for you to make some money, but not make art out here. I didn't go to a university. I regret that. I see a lot of people who are, like the last show I've been working on the Gilded Age. You got all these big, Yale graduates,
Yeah.
NYU, people are going to school for this.
Okay.
There is a lane for that. There is a lane and a technique if you want to be a great actor to go to acting school. Or even if it's not at a university, find acting classes. Um, find, if you want to be a filmmaker, I do find that, most of the time when you get out of film school, you're going to have to go back to school in the business again, basically, because what you're learning in school is not the same as on the grounds work. But there are things that I've had to catch up to, even though I'm directing big shows, because I don't have that film background from a university. So I think that I would encourage people to go to school for it, or at least take acting classes. But there is an avenue if you are if you really feel like you're a filmmaker. You have phones now. It's so easy to make, if it's not a phone or one of these 5D cameras, you can make your own film. There's
Hmm.
no excuse. I also tell people that like I wish I was a writer. The writer is king here, especially in TV. If you can write your own stuff and create your own content, uh, you will be successful. But again, being a writer, there's some technique involved, and you can't just throw anything up there. You need some technique, and that is either from reading books up on it or going to school about it.
Yeah. I was thinking while you were talking about how just because you went to school for it doesn't mean you actually have the skill set. You could have the knowledge, but you don't have the skill set. So although you didn't actually go to you've been directing a long time. So you know what I mean? So your eyes and your vision and your gift will be able to see and supersede that. And it doesn't negate going to school for what you want to do, but it does say you do need to know your skill set. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I learned mine on the job. I went to the school of hard knocks. I watched, I paid attention, and also there is something to be said that some people like. I realized at this point. I have a friend who's a photographer, one of my best friends who I've known, for the last 30 years, and he's a huge photographer. And he came to visit me on the set. He goes, "Oh my God, all these years I've known you. I didn't know you had an eye. Because I see things the way he does, like a photographer too.
Mm,
But I didn't know that." And so either I think that, like I said, this was, God's vision for me. I just didn't know it. And I have the right temperament and the right eye to be a director. Um, I just found out later in life.
and probably at the right time for you and
Yeah,
for your family.
absolutely. Yeah, it's all whatever the plan is, right?
All in divine order. That's right. So I know that you've accomplished so much throughout the years, but what has been one of the most rewarding things that you can look at and say, you know what, this has been rewarding in the career, not necessarily in your family,
Right.
but in the career?
Um, I think that it's all. I've always had trouble with that question. Even they're like, "Oh, what's your favorite movie?" Because I always feel like it's not there yet. So I'm always looking for, like, what is this next step? Um, so it's probably right now the job I just finished for HBO, The Gilded Age, just because it's not only am I the director of it, I am one of the executive producers.
Oh, wow.
So I have much more control of what I'm doing. And as I've built my career through directing, the more control I have of what the final product is going to look like, um, and and building these worlds out, having more control of that, the more I feel empowered, and the more I feel fulfilled in my art. So I really think it would be this job, The Gilded Age, and the one I did before this called The Wheel of Time. I was shooting that in Prague. And really it's because I have people here who every once in a while I just go, I can't even believe these people are trusting me with so much money, but who really trust me, and there's no one micromanaging me, and they go, okay, we hired you for a reason, and I'm doing what I do, and I don't know, I feel like people believe in my work, so anyway, it would be this job right now.
Well, it's proven fact, because when they keep asking you for more, that means something is there that they're like, more, more, more. So congratulations on that. I really love that. And I'm super excited to know every time you have produced or directed something. So I'm going to end this with practical life lessons, because we talked about a little bit about balance, family, work, career. But practical life lessons are so key for people to hear, especially with people with prestige and who have walked different walks of life. So tell us a practical life lesson that you've learned just throughout your whole entire journey.
Practical.
People say I ask hard questions. I don't mean to.
No, it's a hard one, because they're so I think most of the real practical ones are things that are so obvious but people don't do, which is not be on time, be early, be over prepared. I'm always over prepared, and I say that because I just go over and over things. Procrastination will kill you. Always know that part of the reason I have worked so much is that people like to work with me. I can be firm because I have to be at times, but most I'd say most of the time, I'm a pretty nice person to work with. If I'm wrong, and I will apologize for it. If I say something out of hand, because on a set things get real heated, and I look back, I always apologize. People who work for you appreciate that. I give credit where credit's due, because this being in the film industry while doing a show, it is a collaborative process, and there's times people go, hey, did you see this? And maybe you didn't. Now, I don't want you doing that too much, but but there are people around you, and I have no problem. They'll be like, oh, that's a great shot. I go, it sure is. That was like my DP. I'm like, I'll have to give that one to Manuel. He designed that or something, and I think that when your team feels empowered, they want to work harder for you, those kind of things. But I really think it's about, at the end of the day, is being prepared.
That is a valuable point that I stand by all the times. That's one of my mottos. I know they say if you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late.
Yep.
So that is a valuable lesson. Well, I am so super grateful that you took the time with me today to just share a little bit of yourself and your busy schedule. I'm so grateful. And I love you too, and I appreciate you. You guys follow Sally Richardson Whitfield on Instagram and Facebook. Are you on Twitter too?
I am, yeah.
Okay, and Twitter. Follow her projects, follow her movies, follow her series, follow all her work. She is amazing. Okay, love you so much, Sal. Thank you so much, you guys. See you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
I have to figure out how to turn it off. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business